Hi, it's Jason here from Taxfiler. Today I'm going to show you how to import a CSV trial balance into the software, and we're going to see how easy it is to prepare a set of accounts from those figures. So I'm not going to go into too much detail about setting up a client. Hopefully everyone knows how to do that. So I'm going to start off from the accounts screen, which is in front of us now. So I've got my CSV file already, which I'll show you in a second. And the first thing I'm going to do from the accounts screen, I'm going to click on the button here that says New Set of Accounts. So we're going to click on that. And if you remember, the fields marked with red asterisks we have to complete for Taxfiler to accept it. So start of period, I'm going to say 01/04/16, so that's the 1st of April 16. I'm going to press the tab key and then we'll automatically populate the end period to 31st of March 17, which is correct. We're going to leave the type of accounts as small company, we'll leave that as it is. And we're going to not have a comparative period, we're going to leave that blank. So I'm just going to delete those figures there like so. And if we're happy with that, we can click on Create. Now after we've clicked on Create, the first screen we'll get is the Details screen, which is the first tab. Now for now we're just going to concentrate on importing the CSV figures into the trial balance. So for that reason we're going to click on the second tab, which is Trial Balance. We're going to click on that. And what we need to do now is import the figures from a CSV file. So I've got my CSV file in front of me now. So this is from a spreadsheet. Now this particular CSV file was extracted from VT accounts. So literally all we need to do when we're in any particular software is extract our figures as a CSV file. Once we've got the figures like we have in front of us here, we can then import those figures into the trial balance into Taxfiler. So I've got my CSV file here. So literally all I need to do is highlight all the figures. So as you'll see, the first line says income fees 56930. So I'm going to literally highlight the whole box with the figures in like so. So everything is now highlighted, and I'm going to copy that table to the clipboard. So I'm literally going to click on copy, and that will copy those figures there to the clipboard of my computer, and we're now going to import those into Taxfiler. Okay, so we're now back into the Taxfiler screen. So the figures that I've just shown you have been copied to the clipboard, so they're sitting in the computer's clipboard at the moment. So literally now all we need to do is click on Paste TB from Clipboard. So I'm going to click on that. Okay, and we have paste text from clipboard here. So I'm just going to click into this box here. And then what I'm going to do is paste the figures that I've just shown you into the clipboard. So I'm going to highlight paste. And there we go. So all the figures that I've just shown you from my CSV file are now pasted into the clipboard. So the next thing we need to do is to get Taxfiler to validate the figures. So we've got a green button here called Validate. So I'm going to click on that. So we now have a little green button here that says View Mapping. So if we click on that, we can just sort of confirm that Taxfiler has allocated the account codes we've just seen, allocated them to the right account codes within the software. Now, as I say, in this instance we've exported the figures from VT, so everything should be pretty much okay, but it does give us the opportunity to check. So for example, expenses, repairs and maintenance, and that ties up with the code in the VT software. So it is worth checking just to make sure that the mappings are okay, but if you're exporting from something like VT, then you should be pretty much okay with the figures that it uses. But once we're happy, once everything has been mapped correctly, we can click on Update. And the next thing we need to do is, you'll notice it says year to update with these figures. So if we open that up, we can see we're given the choice of current year or comparative year. Now, as you know, in this case, I've got no comparative figures, so I'm going to make sure we're on current year. And then I'm going to click on the little tick here that says Save Changes. So I'm going to click on that. And there we go. After a few seconds, all the figures that we've entered, all the figures that we've imported are now in the software. Now, if we can just scroll down the trial balance, and we can see that all our figures, if they're mapped correctly, which they now should be, all our figures are appearing in the relevant accounts. So we've got all the profit and loss accounts here, and if we move down a bit further we can see that all the balance sheet figures have imported as well. So we've got the debits and credits there just to make sure they're correct. We can just click on that, click down the screen I should say, just to make sure that all the codes have imported correctly. And then we're now getting to the bottom of the trial balance, to all the balance sheet codes, and you can just see there that everything seems to have come through successfully. So we can say that we're now happy. So one thing to just note, one thing I can quickly show you that we are able to do once the figures are imported. If I move over, let's say, other taxes and social security, if I move over that figure, you'll see that it turns into a clickable link. So you can actually click, for example, on this figure here, and that's just to check that all the mappings have been done properly. So other taxes and social security, we can see that that's come through from the VAT due account. So it's just to make sure that everything's come through okay, really, just to confirm that all the accounts match up with what they should say in effect. So we can then close that. Now obviously there can be further work to do, for example on the contents, the notes or the policies tab, but just for this purpose I'm going to click on the View tab, just to show you that the figures all have come through to the accounts. So remember, all we've done literally is imported the figures from our CSV file into the software, and if we move down through the accounts, we've got the income statement, all the figures have come through there, and we'll just have a look at the statement of financial position, and as we can see we've got perfectly balanced figures.